All right, guys, I'm back again with .net and ahead of NWA's Always Ready pay-per-view. I'm here with PJ Hawx. PJ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? Thank you for having me on.
Great. When I found out that you were available, I was like, definitely, I'd love to have more interviews. I would love to help promote, the pay-per-view because it is a stacked card as it is already. And my first question to you is like, you're facing a legend. You're facing somebody who has been synonymous with a lot of, hardcore matches, a lot of indie wrestling. You're facing Homicide. How is it like? How does it feel that you're facing somebody that's a legend?
Well, again, I have a lot of respect for Homicide. I've known him since I was about a teenager, and again, like you said, he's been around the block. I think around almost 30 years now that he's been wrestling, if memory serves me correct. So again, it's a great honor, but it's also going to be a great challenge. But at the same time, I'm coming to win this Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's what I got my eyes on the prize, and you know, I don't really necessarily look at experience as I don't want to a scare tactic, as you would say. It's not really a deterrent for me because again, anybody can win, but also anybody can lose. It just happens to you got to see what happens in the situation. But Homicide's a smart man. He's been wrestling a long time, and obviously he's been in many championship situations. So I'm really going to go in there and you know outsmart him, try to figure out how to outsmart him, and it's just I got to see what I got to do.
And knowing that you're facing Homicide, are you someone who looks at tapes of like their opponents and tries to see how they can counter a certain maneuver or a certain move in the
Oh,
ring?
100%. I mean, I pride myself on being more of a technical wrestler than anything. And just seeing how to counter holds or any kind of moves that they do, it's very important for me. So I did recently just watch Colby Carino versus Homicide for the Junior Heavyweight Championship from the NWA's past Oak Grove. And it's just paying attention to that. I mean, one big thing I know is Homicide's not afraid to cheat if he needs to. So again, I got to be aware for that too. But you just never know when that's going to happen. So, but you got so many factors that are running through your head in a match. It's sometimes it's hard to stay cool, calm, and collected. And you know, being young, it's something that I'm still working on. But I mean, that's something that my dad always tells me too. Is I can't be overzealous. I got to be patient and strike when the time is right. And I mean, I think that's another great blessing about having my dad, who's been in the wrestling business for over 20 years now too, is having him as a coach is preparing me for situations like this. So when it is time for me to stand on my own, I can do it.
And obviously, you just brought up your dad, so I would like to find out, what is it like working with that, with your father, and knowing that he helped you train you as well. So what was it like, just working with him?
It's the greatest privilege to be able to do. Obviously, I always am grateful to step in a ring, and it's a privilege every time I do. But being in with him is just, I mean, it's a dream come true. You got to think, I was a little boy. I mean, earliest memories, 3 years old, watching him wrestle. He was a superhero to me. I'd go to the matches and seeing him just fly across the ring and stuff. There's no cooler feeling. And being able to do it while he's still in his prime and still, rocking and rolling, it's just so cool. And again, not only that, but he's my coach, he's my mentor. So having somebody that's had so much experience, of course, we're going to butt heads because, everybody has different opinions, but at the same time, too, I know he's knowledgeable and I'm going to listen to him when he speaks to me. And again, another thing, too, is he's not going to sugarcoat things to me. I appreciate his realism. He's not going to tell me, oh, good job, just because I'm his son. I want to be the best version of myself to represent not only myself, my family. And he wants the same thing as well. He's a hard worker, and that's been instilled in me. So I'm not afraid. I'm not going to cut corners. So I'm not afraid to work hard. And it's the same thing in this match. I got to work hard in order to win the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
And obviously, you say that your dad is like, it's your mentor, is somebody who has influenced you in wrestling itself or in life itself. And knowing that he's been around for so long, what memory do you have of like watching your dad wrestle live? Like, your favorite memory out of it?
We actually had this conversation the other day, but honestly, it was really one of a recent match of him. It was a singles match. We were up in MCW. This was the Shamrock Cup, Maryland Championship Wrestling, and he had a singles match against Casey Navarro. Actually, I just saw him, and he was having a lot of fun out there. And it's cool to see him just enjoying himself. Obviously, he has a lot of fun where we tag and stuff like that. But, most of the time I'm ringside. So it's like, I'm paying attention, but also I'm focused on the match and stuff. So it's kind of like, I have that. But to be able to sit back and watch, because he doesn't really do a whole lot of singles matches anymore. We're pretty much exclusively a tag team besides an NWA. And just watching him have fun, it just kind of reminded me as a little kid, just watching him and just how passionate he is for it. And I think that's why I'm so passionate as well. I just love it because, again, it's just something that brings joy to us, and we love to compete. We're competitors, so it's fun to go out there and throw down.
And obviously, you just started a few years ago in the wrestling business. So when was the moment for you that you found out that you really wanted to pursue professional wrestling?
I've known since I was a little boy. That was my goal. Of course, I'm still in college. I graduate next semester, so I knew I wanted to get through school, and I'm doing that. Stunts eventually came into my life as well. I wasn't necessarily planning to do stunts, but after I started doing wrestling, I started doing stunts as well, which is transitioning great for me. But wrestling was one thing that I always had my mindset on. That's the one thing I'm like, okay, when I'm done school or even when I'm older, this is what I'm going to do because this is what I love. And that's exactly what I did. He told me I couldn't start wrestling until I graduated high school. So, I did wait. And also, I joined my amateur wrestling team in high school, my freshman year. And I was a 3-time state placer in folk style. Took third my senior year. I was a Greco and freestyle state champion. And I was on the Louisiana national team. So I did everything I could to get my body and my mind physically ready because, again, this is a grueling sport. People don't realize how tough and wearing it is on your body. And that's one thing that I wanted to go in prepared to do. Everybody's got specific styles, but, high flying can really do a lot of, big number on your body. That's why my dad was a high flyer when he's younger, but, he put on size. So, he wouldn't have to put his body through so much. And I think that's why I love technical wrestling as well. It's a lot, it is gritty, but at the same time too, you're applying holds and wearing down your opponent rather than, potentially causing damage to your own body. And it's just one thing that I'm truly grateful for because I do think I'm a lot tougher, both physically and mentally. And it's why I excel in the wrestling ring.
And obviously, you say that you love, technical wrestling. And when I was doing my research on you, you actually appeared in Ring of Honor. Is that true?
I did. Twice actually. The Super Card of Honor back when WrestleMania, I think 34 was in town. That was one of Motor City Machine Gun and the Beer City Bruisers. But then we had a match against the Briscoes. I believe that was 2018, and it was a back and forth match. At the end of the day, they came away with the win. And of course, I mean they're one of the greatest tag teams out there right now. But we were pretty close, and I think that's the thing. At that point, I'd only been like a year and a half, maybe 2 years in, and now this year makes 5 years for me, and in November. So it's just, I'm still learning, but I'm always constantly improving, and I'm not that far off from the curve. I'm always ready to go, and I'm never afraid to back down from a challenge. And I want to continue to face all these tag teams and singles competitions. And that's what Hawx Area is doing. Unfortunately, same thing in the Crockett Cup. We weren't able to continue that night because obviously my dad was injured in the first match, but I still went on and I took on Love Rebellion by myself. And even though I did get my ass whooped, I wasn't going to stay down. They had to put me down twice before it was over. And again, they're great competitors and they're tough, but that's just the thing. I'm never going to give up, and that's one thing my dad's taught me. I got to keep fighting and clawing, and it'll pay off eventually.
And obviously, the when you did Ring of Honor, what was it like, being in the ring with legends like the Briscoes and many others, and obviously being backstage with the crew? So what was it like basically being with Ring of Honor for that time?
So I only did 2 matches, so I don't really have a whole lot of experience there, I would say. But the time I was there, I mean, it was a great time. Again, it's a big opportunity for me because again, somebody just starting. I mean, Ring of Honor was a big promotion, but or still is. But at the same time, too, it's something that I'm every time I step in the ring, I'm extremely confident. Whatever the outcome is, I'm never afraid. And at the same time, too, I know that this is what I meant to do. When I step out there, I have no second thoughts or doubts of can I do this? Can I do this? It's okay. This is game time. This is what I trained for. This is what I'm coming to do. So again, it doesn't matter whether somebody started off, 6 months ago or somebody's been wrestling for 20 years. I have the utmost respect for them because, again, anybody can win or lose. And at the same time, too, you just got to be able to come and just go and wrestle. And I think that's something that I took away from amateur wrestling because, again, it's a scrap, it's a claw, and you really got to grind, and be tough to win. And it's the same mentality here, again, and it's what I'm taking in my fight with Homicide this weekend. He's been around for a long time, and I know it's going to be an extremely tough fight. But again, I know that I'm not going to give up, and I'm not afraid of the challenge.
And obviously, I was told by my boss to check out the video from about 2 years ago where you were wrestling in a mall. You were like so up high, and I was like, how does somebody prepare to do something like that? So my question immediately is like, what was going through your mind when you were just jumping off from there?
Okay, so if I'm being honest, and a lot of people, they always say there's no way, but I had nothing in my mind. I had no thoughts, no nothing. I just had pure confidence that, okay, when I step over this railing, I'm going to jump and I'm going to hit this. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, oh, maybe I'm going to miss. No, there was just, hey, when I jump off this, somebody's getting hit with this crossbody. And that was just the main thing. So this is partially where my stunt training comes into play. I've done high falls from, 20, 30 feet. And I believe the exact footage on that were 15. But again, these are onto airbags. These aren't onto people. So it was just a crazy moment. But at the same time, too, it was just something that I said, you know what, let's just go. Let's just do it. And I did. And, it couldn't have went any more perfectly than that. And, I always had to give a shout out to Fly Def because they're an extremely great tag team in the state of Texas. And, they're going around. But it's just one of those things where, on the day, I'm like, all right, whatever, let's do this. And I did it. So.
And obviously you say you're coming up 5 years in the business and like being a wrestler. So what do you hope to see for yourself in the future for the next 5 years?
A couple things. I mean, longevity, of course, is one. Obviously, I want to stay healthy. I want to stay, active. And there's a lot of things I'm pursuing outside of wrestling as well. So it's just trying to balance all those things with film work, because right now I'm filming season 2 of Heels down in Georgia. So balance between that, staying busy with film and finishing up school, I'm just really trying to stay healthy and balance everything out. But just in wrestling, I mean, I'm just grateful to be able to do this. And honestly, NWA is one of the greatest promotions around. It's got such history and lineage. And again, this weekend is one of those stepping stones for me. This is something that I would like to be able to accomplish, is winning the Junior Heavyweight Championship, because again, that belt has so much history behind it. I mean, I believe the belt was brought into existence in 1945 or so. I mean, that's almost 100 years. I mean, we got what, 23 more years before that happens. So, I mean, maybe I'll still be wrestling then, but just to be able to say that I won the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship and put my name on that list of, so many accomplished champions, that's a huge honor. And to be able to represent the NWA, there's nothing better than that. And so there's that. And I mean, continue tagging with my dad. It's just, again, it's such a privilege to be doing that. It really is. I have so much joy. I love singles wrestling, but I've just grown to love tag team wrestling so much. It is so much fun. And again, we just have a blast doing it. And honestly, it'd be nice to win NWA Tag Team Gold too. I mean, I know I have my sights set on the Junior Heavyweight Championship, but we've never gotten a tag team match for the tag team championships. And again, every time something happens, unfortunately, but it's just, I think we're there. We are one of the best tag teams in the NWA. And I mean, we are, we work hard. And that's something I'd really like to accomplish. And of course, our home promotion down in New Orleans, Wildcat Sports, we've been running since 2011, and we're coming back June 25th for our X-rated show. We didn't have a show last year because of Hurricane Ida and the pandemic. Obviously, I mean, you saw the mall show. We had a lot of buzz going around us, and that got cut short because of the pandemic literally 2 weeks later. So it's just nice to be able to have a Wildcat show again, at the same time NWA, growing both of those things. I'm just happy to represent both and continue, moving on and working hard.
Obviously, like I'm going to speak this into existence. You are going to win the junior heavyweight title.
Thank you. Thank you. I
And my question to
appreciate that.
you, and my question to you is, who would you want your first opponent to be when you win the title? Could be anybody from NWA or it could be from the Forbidden Door.
That's an interesting question. Well, I got a couple answers for that. Number one, I'd like to wild card Jay Spade. He showed up on NWA. I want to say in December, and he actually has a number one contendership for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. He won a match to qualify for that, and he has not cashed that in. So I'd like to give the wild card a shout out for that. So if I win this championship, you're first on the list, buddy. So, but no, honestly, I'd love to just face whoever I can. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, how many years they've been doing it. It really would be an honor to just represent, the NWA and again be a fighting champion. I think that's one thing Homicide does. He's not afraid to compete and go against people. And you see some champions that do, and respect to them too, because obviously, they want to hold on to that title as long as you can. But again, that's one thing I love to do is compete. So whether that's again, a rematch with Homicide or Rhett Titus or even Colby Carino. We've had our wars here and there, but I mean, it's probably going to continue for a long time. So, first we got to worry about this weekend. But again, I'm game to go with whoever there is that wants to step up to the plate. And again, I just got to conquer the mountain that is Homicide this weekend, and I'm ready to climb it.
And obviously, you say you hope to also win tag team gold, your father. So it's basically kind of the same question. Who would you want to face when you eventually win tag team gold for dad? Anybody from the company or outside of the company?
I mean, I'd like a rematch with the Briscoes. It was a close match before, but that's just a team that it was one of my favorite tag team matches we did, and at the same time too, again, it was close. So me being me, I just like, all right, you beat me, but hey, it's right here. So that, I mean, of course, FTR would be fantastic. They're on the top of their game right now, and I know how extremely good they are. So I think Hawks Area versus FTR would be a fantastic match to do. But I mean, even another father son tag team. I mean, you got Rock and Roll Express, which would be good. But Kerry and Ricky, I always loved the father son versus father son, and we've wrestled La Rebellion several times. But Bestia and Damien 666. If we can do more father son duos, I know RKJ in England and Roy Knight from the Knight family. So it's just, I mean, I'd love to give other father son tag teams some run for the money. See who's the true best. But again, we're game to wrestle whoever. So anytime, anywhere, just let us know.
And, obviously you're also, doing the independent circuit. So how is it like, doing the independent circuit, and what's that experience been like so far?
I mean, it's a blast. I will say this about the independent circuit that I truly enjoy is being able to have a free schedule. And that's also one of the things I love about the NWA. We come in for, every couple months, and we do 5 days, and we get a lot done. It's grueling, but we get a lot done compared to a weekly schedule. And it's not to say that I wouldn't be opposed to doing a weekly schedule. It's just that right now with school and film and all that stuff, it's just I have a lot going for me. So I mean, school, I'm like I said, I finished college, I graduate next semester, so that'll be one thing that's taken care of, so I don't have to worry about that responsibility. But at the same time too, I mean, right now, I mean, we've been filming Heel since February, and it's now June. So we got a little while longer to go, and it's just, I mean, that's a lot of months. So it's hard to balance it, but again, that's why I like independent scene's great. I can work the weekends, and we can pick and choose there and stuff. But I mean, again, once it's time though, I'll definitely be ready to be doing a full-time schedule. So it's just trying to balance everything out and be able to put my hands in every pot. And but not only that, just do a good job at everything, because again, I don't like to be mediocre. I like to put my best foot forward and do the best I can. So there's only so much you can do with everything, but honestly, it's just balancing everything out. But it truly is a blast. I mean, again, unfortunately, the pandemic kind of took away from that time. I mean, we had our show in February. So after that, I don't think we did anything till NWA March 2021. So I mean, that was a long time not being able to do that. So it's just, again, you got to be grateful for being able to just do it again after not being able to do it for so long. It was just nice to just wrestle again. And again, that's just what I love to do, is just wrestle.
And obviously, you brought up working heels, and I know like a lot of people love that show. It's like a show that's been very successful so far. So my question to you is, was it like, working with Stephen Amell, CM Punk, and all these other names, on that show?
It's really cool. I mean, Heels is a great show. For those that don't know, it's set in a town called Duffy, Georgia, and the promotion called DWL is run by the Spade brothers, the Spade family, which is Stephen Amell and Alexander Ludwig. And it's so cool because it tells the story about professional wrestling, but the deeper side that people may not see, the relationships, the struggles, what goes on behind backstage and all that kind of stuff. And it's cool because, again, it gives insight to people that they may think they know about the world of professional wrestling, but they don't. And honestly, it's so relatable, especially for me, because the relationship between my dad and I've been in the wrestling business, there's a lot of things where you see those things there where it's like, oh wow, you have family disputes, you have things where maybe your dad can't be there because they're gone on a show or something like that, and stuff like that. And it's things that people may not think about, the sacrifice professional wrestlers make. So, and again, the action is just top notch. I mean, my dad is the wrestling choreographer on the show, and I assist him there. So just we help show the actors how the moves and everything else, and teach them the choreography. So it's just really cool to be able to work with them. I mean, the cast is really killer, and they all come in and work hard. I mean, Kelly Berglund, Chris Bauer, Robbie Ramos, Duke Davis Roberts. I mean, they all come in and put in some serious work, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, I play a role in the show. I'm Denny the referee, so which is cool, counting the action and everything. And I mean, it truly is just a privilege to do the show. And speaking of one man, CM Punk, again, CM Punk was my favorite wrestler when I was younger. So it was, and still to this day. So it's cool to be able to watch and work with him. And I mean, if speaking of which, if that's one man, I'd like to face if I had a junior heavyweight championship match, if he wants a shot at the gold, that'd be one I'd be willing to do. But yeah, again, it's just really cool to be able to work with those guys and just, again, create great television, because, again, it really is good. I mean, and I guess you could say I'm biased, but, it's just everybody works so hard. And, again, I think we got nominated for a couple Emmys, too. So, I mean, the work speaks for itself.
Oh my gosh, this was a really, really fun interview to do. PJ, let the people know where they can find you, NWA, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so this weekend, tomorrow, actually, July 11th, or sorry, July, I keep getting my months mixed up. June 11th, we're going to Knoxville. I'm taking on Homicide one-on-one for the Junior Heavyweight Championship at NWA Alwayz Ready. So Matt Cardona themed, and that's one of the mans. Woo, 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 you know it. We got, a bunch. We got the tapings over the weekend. We're in Knoxville for 2 days, and then I believe we're in Nashville for the other power tapings. So there's that. So come check us out if you're in Knoxville or Nashville. I have Wildcat Sports. That's Wildcat with a K. That's my home promotion in New Orleans. We got our first show back, X-Rated, June 25th. So it is sold out, but we will have a date soon for our next show. So if you are in the New Orleans area, check it out. That's at Wildcat Sports with a K. And you can find me everywhere at PJ_HAWX. That's PJ_Hawx on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And season 2 of Heels. You can check that out. Hopefully coming out soon. But if not, season 1 is currently on Stars. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was fun being on here, and I'm getting ready to go to set soon. So we'll do that, and then we'll drive straight to Knoxville for 4 hours. So I can't wait, and I can't wait to be at NWA Alwayz Ready.
All right, NWA Alwayz Ready, streaming live on Fite, June 11th. Don't miss it. PJ, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this interview.
Thank you. You have a nice day.